Hello and welcome to episode 32 of Things We Play. It's Tuesday the 28th of August. My name's Mike Oldman and I am joined by Sean Hart.
Hello.
And Joe Tanessa.
Hello.
Chaps. Why'd you never say anything at that point? Chaps.
We're waiting for you to kind
just, that's kind of like a hi, like me putting it out there. Chaps.
Is it?
Yeah, like you just walked in front of me or in front of a bus.
Right.
We can dream.
It's a very casual chaps if you walked in front of a bus.
Yeah, you know, what more do you want?
Bit
Look
of screaming,
out.
some
Bus.
panic,
Move, Joe, duck and roll.
some tears maybe.
Maneuver, do a maneuver.
Come on, you know you'd cry if you lost me.
I don't know if a bus would take you out. I'm perfectly honest, just lots and lots of innocent victims. The screams, I can still hear the screams, Joe. So it'd be a bit like the bit in Hellboy where he punches the front of the car and it flips over him. Except for you haven't punched it, you just kind of haven't even realised that the bus has rear-ended you or something. Yeah?
God.
What say you, boy? Yeah, how have you been?
I've been good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else that you've been? Just been good. What does being good entail? What have you been up to?
Nothing much really this week.
Oh,
I've been to Tunbridge Wells for the first time ever.
first time. That's it, you say it like it's an event. Like at some point, everyone has to go to Tunbridge
It's Joe's
Wells.
Mecca.
Yeah, people are going like, oh, did a lot of people go with you? Like, Joe's going to Tunbridge Wells. We should all be there, really.
Pilgrimage.
Family event, you know.
It's about one of the only
Fine.
interesting things I've done this week.
Okay, what was in Tunbridge Wells?
I went for a job interview.
Oh, so you didn't really get to see Tunbridge Wells, any of the famous bits.
Yeah, I got to see parts of Tunbridge Wells. Some beautiful architecture in Tunbridge Wells.
Beautiful architecture.
There is.
That's nice. How did the job interview go?
I think it went well, but I'll find out at some point.
Yeah, we'll let you know on the podcast. That'll be an awkward episode. We're like, you know, or if you just don't turn up for a few weeks, we'll know you got it. Okay, cool. Tunbridge Wells, that's good. Everyone has to go there at some point. Anything else you've done?
Not
You've had
really.
a haircut. You had a haircut last episode, and we didn't even mention it.
Oh yeah, I did, didn't
It's
I?
important to mention it because obviously the people at home can't see your flowing locks, and so we should describe them to you. You've it's the same haircut you've always had. I like to think that's
No.
sort of like hair on top. It's
Usually it's
more
got Prince Valiant.
Yeah, true. Now it's a bit more sort of Snake Plissken.
Yeah, definitely.
When I did leave the hairdressers, I was thinking it's a bit mulletish.
It is a bit
Yeah.
mulletish,
Yeah.
but
It
it's
was
not.
unintentional.
It needs to be longer for it to be mulletish, I think, because you've got
and
quite a large
it'd have
head.
to be short on sides
I know.
for it to be a mullet.
But
So
if you
it's
put
kind of,
if you put a bandana around
yeah,
it would work.
there's definitely a snake vibe going on. Gaseous snake.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. Did you ask for that, or do you think they were just taking the piss?
No, I was just, asked for a few inches taken off my hair and I ended up with a partial mullet.
Didn't specify where. Just take a few inches. I don't care where it is.
I
No.
just said all over, but
No, it's fine. Just thought I should put it out there. You're looking a bit, Escape from LA at the moment.
yeah. I trim a beard as well. Random.
Did you find anything?
No.
Like old couple of chicken nuggets.
No, it wasn't as good as it was when I done
Couple
it
of
before.
chicken nuggets, an old watch, perhaps.
Kitten.
An ex-girlfriend. Who knows? No.
No.
All right. Okay. What about you, Sean? How's your week been?
Yeah, relatively uneventful.
Yeah, that was where I was last week.
Yeah, that's what it is most weeks.
You got to do something with your weeks.
Yeah, I've completed Ella's bicycle teaching.
Training
Yeah,
program.
she can ride a bike.
That's cool. Simple, and she's cool with it.
Yeah, she can kickstart herself, everything.
Well, you're on a motorbike.
No.
You shouldn't. I mean, that shouldn't be our first experience. It should be on a 250cc Kawasaki Ninja.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what we're for. Class A.
But no, that's good. That's good. Progress is good. I mean, if I was interested in how her week had been, I'd have asked her. But
She's not here.
well, that's why. That's why. You see. So
It might be an interesting podcast.
no,
I'll bring her
it's
next
fair
week.
enough.
She
Alright.
she can replace me.
Yeah,
My birthday next week.
Maybe
Might be busy.
something to do. That'd be interesting. So nothing else. No excitement.
No. Just
okay.
no. Oh, I did watch a couple of episodes of My Own Worst Enemy.
Oh right, yeah, cool. Because I was telling you about that.
Yeah.
It's terrible, but it's also kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's got some funny bits in.
I kinda
It's
like it.
kind of like a gritty, serious version of Chuck.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah,
How's
it's
that?
kind of what you'd expect though from a cancelled first season Christian Slater TV series.
Yeah.
But first episode I think is pretty wicked. Cool. I haven't done very much. I went up to Portsmouth this weekend to see my granddad because he's not very well, and went into Ross Records. I'll give a shout out for Ross Records, the best video game shop, best second-hand video game shop that I've ever known. It's been in Portsmouth. I don't know where it is, on some road somewhere. I'm not going to give out the details because I just don't know them. But follow me and I'll tell you that. And it's just like the cheapest second-hand shop in the world. So I always have to buy a game, and this weekend I bought Blood Bowl, which maybe we'll discuss a little bit later, but
Maybe not.
ultimately turned out to be a mistake, I think. Let's talk about it now. Fuck it. That game looks like shit. But I haven't played it because I literally fired up this morning because I haven't had much chance before the podcast. So I can't go into details of the game, right?
Yeah.
But it's based on the Warhammer, license and stuff. But the game just looks garbage. Like the menus look garbage. I was looking at it thinking, what resolution is this in? I'll show you maybe after the show. It's shocking. If anyone's had a similar experience with Blood Bowl, don't let us know. Just get rid of the game.
Yeah, because it's relatively recent.
It's like last year. Yeah, it's like last year. And I just thought I'll give it a go because I loved Newton Sports Football and Brutal Sports Football. But it doesn't seem to be like any of those. But regardless of that, forget the game. The menus look terrible. That's it. So aside from that, not done a great deal, to be honest, this week. Basically, because I haven't even played as many games as you guys because you guys picked up some new releases. We got Darksiders II.
Yep.
Came over here. It's been out in the States for another week. Came out the same week as Sleeping Dogs in America.
Okay.
But so that came out, but I didn't manage to pick that up. Also, Fall of Cybertron came out, and none of us picked that up.
No, not yet.
Good work, chaps. But I'm going to see if I can grab that today because I'm getting more and more pumped for that game as time goes on and I hear about certain things.
Yeah, I'll get hold of it.
Turns out I'm a much bigger Transformers fan than I thought because I hate the Transformers.
Why do you hate Transformers?
Michael Bay.
But Michael Bay's not the whole of Transformers.
He has been for a while, though, don't you think?
Debatable.
It's just, I don't know, Transformers is too confusing. All I care about is if they turned into Earth things, and that's it. Basically the cartoon, and I'm not even a big fan of the cartoon.
The re-release of Gen 1 Transformers by Dreamwave Comics, the first volume, was fucking awesome.
Okay.
Drawn by Jim Lee. Not Jim Lee. Someone Lee. Pat Lee.
Alright. I don't know who Pat Lee is.
He was wicked artist. I don't know where he works now.
Fair enough.
Let's hope he's working.
Yeah. My point was, anyway, you guys have played some more games. Before we go into the sort of new stuff, and let's talk a little bit more about Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs obviously came out last week.
Yeah.
And we've all had now an extra week of playing it. I actually managed to finish that game in a rental.
Yeah.
So my initial...
I think when we talked about it last week, you'd already finished it.
Yeah, I'd already finished the story missions and stuff. I still had a few things to mop up.
Mm-hmm.
But my kind of point is, with that game being sort of shorter than I would think a normal open world game, of which I don't think any open world game I've ever maxed out. Right?
Yeah.
This I did in the space of a rental with a day to spare. I got did every mission, did every race, collected every collectible. That was Sleeping Dogs done.
Technically, you didn't.
I mean, I
Because you
couldn't.
didn't buy all the cars, you didn't buy all the clothes.
No, I didn't. So I didn't get all the achievements.
Yeah.
But in terms of actually things to do, I suppose, you're right. I didn't buy all the clothes and cars, but I didn't need to.
No.
I'm less keen on that game than I was. Like, it's good. It's a good game. It's fine, right? But nothing about it now, in hindsight, stands out. It's kind of like, yep, that's a game. I'm going to forget about that game so quickly, it's unreal.
It's hard because it is a real kind of mishmash of other games. It's just nicked bits from all over the place, and there's very little it does in of itself, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And those bits that it does do, it doesn't do particularly well.
It doesn't.
Like
It doesn't
the
seem to
mini-games
shine
and
in
stuff.
any real area. It's
No.
just kind of like
Yeah.
It's not greater than the sum of its parts at all. It just is the sum of its parts. But it's not to say it's a bad game because it's cool.
No, I still like it a lot. You say it's average. I say it's above average. I was very into the story. You was kind of down on the story because you were saying it's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and Furious, and just a bit too cliche.
Yeah, it is very cliche, but at the same time, like I said, I've not watched Fast and Furious all the way through, so the story was a bit fresher to me.
Well, and I suppose, and it's not, and we should probably point out, it's not like an exact carbon copy of Fast and Furious. It's got similar.
It's got its own
things,
characters.
But,
Vin Diesel's not in it.
but it's that fine line, isn't it, between like cliche and greatest hits stuff? It's
Yeah,
just kind of what
yeah.
you expect, and then it's sort of like, well, I largely would want it to be cliche because those are all the best bits of Hong Kong cinema,
sure.
right? I don't want it to be doing anything particularly new on the slant, but yeah, just thinking back about it, nothing really stands out in a sort of like super memorable way. It was a great game that I enjoyed playing, but it's not one I'm going to be talking about, next week.
No.
Joe, you hadn't played as much as me and Sean.
Yeah, and I haven't played it since last week either.
See, that's my point. No, but that's my point. Like, why haven't you gone back to it?
I don't know, I just haven't really gone back to it. I don't know why I haven't.
The driving force.
He hasn't really on back to it.
My brother's actually played more of it than me, and he started yesterday.
Yeah, well, we've both played more than
Maybe we should get your brother on the show.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Fair enough. But you were saying your brother bought all the DLC, actually.
He brought some of the DLC, so that they do the top dog packs, which give you loads of XP towards like your cop and
Yeah, it's like the game.
Cop, face, and triad. Yeah.
The game just started throwing achievements at him as soon as you loaded it up.
It's your game-breaking pack.
Yeah.
And that's quite interesting because you were saying that you was having trouble getting all the way up, your triad all the way up.
Yeah, I didn't get my triad all the way up in the end.
And I forgot that I'd bought the Top Dog Silver pack.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I've maxed out all three.
Because you had the limited edition version, right? Oh, you had the limited version, and you bought DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. I'm not sure about this sort of like speed up DLC, you know?
But it seems a lot like you can't get it up without it.
Yeah, that's true. That maybe in this instance is kind of a case of you kind of do need it more need it than you would. But ordinarily, that's the sort of semi game breaking thing that you'd be like, I don't know if I want that. You know,
I suppose it depends on what kind of DLC is coming in the future.
Yeah,
if they've got big kind of bits of DLC which then allow you to earn triad and stuff,
which I'm sure there must.
Seems more likely that you've got the better situation than I have.
Well, and in theory, I could go back and get it. If I wanted to, I could grind it out and get it doing the missions better. I just wasn't necessarily able to or had the patience to do it. But it's an interesting point of like, would you pay to speed up a process of something? So, an instance where I can think that would be kind of useful is if we're playing an RPG or an MMO or something like, or even Borderlands for that matter. You're level 30 and I've just started playing. Yeah, there's an interest then in me getting up to the same level as my friends, so we can just sort of
play
tool around.
Together, sure.
But otherwise, straight out the bat, I mean, your Sleeping Dogs experience, although not massively different to mine, was different because of this DLC, and that I do find slightly interesting.
I always find it's more fun to work for it than cheat and get what you need to work for. Yeah,
that's true. It just depends. I think the Sleeping Dog stuff's more interesting because it does unlock moves.
Yeah.
Which is not a progression you don't normally get in an open world game. Normally you've got your move set from the beginning and all you're getting is different vehicles or guns or whatever. But this does give you new moves. So I'm certainly not arguing that it's not more fun to play through that entire game with your complete set of moves.
Yeah.
Because the combat does get better. And I'd love to be able to use it all. Because there's not much of an end game. After you've completed the end game, there's not much to do afterwards. You don't get much chance to use some of the later moves. Sure. And I'd appreciate that early on. So, I don't know, Joe.
I don't know either.
But you haven't played it again, so it's certainly not taking your fancy. It's not your game of the year.
I like Sleeping Dogs. I just don't know why it hasn't grabbed me.
No, well, maybe it will. It's still there.
Yeah.
So instead, you've been playing Darksiders.
Yeah. So I picked Darksiders up on Friday instead of because it came out on Tuesday last week.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday release.
Same as I got it on the Friday. Yeah.
Which probably means was that a worldwide release? No, it wasn't a worldwide release because it already come out.
No,
it came out the work previous in the US.
That's bizarre that it's come out on a Tuesday.
Just strange, yeah. Darksiders Tuesday. Remember when they used to do that? Sonic Tuesday, Mortal Monday for Mortal Kombat. Yeah. They don't name days anymore. Maybe it's harder to name a day to officially change the name of a day by deed poll. I don't know. Tell us about Darksiders 2. You've been playing it as well, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean's played a lot more than I have, so I've only managed to play it for a few hours so far. And I really like Darksiders. I never played the first one, so I went in blind, not knowing what was going on. But from what Sean's told me, it's completely different in a way.
Completely is an exaggeration. It has departed. It feels less of a slash 'em up like number one was, and far more like an RPG this time round.
Yeah.
In the first game, it did have the layout of kind of Ocarina of Time, where you'd go into a dungeon, you'd find an item which would aid you in combat and also allow you to get past puzzles within the environment.
Yeah, so like your hookshot.
Exactly like that, yeah.
And in fact, you do get the hookshot.
Yeah, and you get the hookshot again in this one.
Right.
It does still have that kind of thing. Not every dungeon gives you something. It's not a requirement because you get weapon drops in this. This feels like a combination more of Devil May Cry, Zelda, and Kingdom of Amalur. You get just like literally every enemy you're killing is dropping armor, is dropping weapons, and they have stat altering effects. So it's not, as I keep saying, it's not completely off. It's very similar to the first one, and it has a lot in common with the first one. And a lot of the abilities are the same as the first one, but not all the abilities are the same.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I think the first one the first one did really well and was well received, but I still think it's one of those games that people think of as being kind of you still go to that, but you still go to that Zelda comparison first and foremost. And I think ultimately the game is more than just a Zelda clone.
Yeah,
it is
definitely.
a massive Zelda clone, the first game.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. But it does enough deviation and some cool bits on top that I think make it stand alone by itself. I mean, this is interesting because they just seem to have... I mean, what they've said when they were making this game is there's a lot of things in here that they wanted to put in the first one that they weren't unable to.
Sure.
So it's possible that the first game would have turned out more like Darksiders 2. But it does just seem much more in-depth and not hardcore, but more complex.
Yeah.
There's a lot of numbering systems going. There's a lot of numbers on the screen.
Oh,
for
man.
God's sake, you know?
There's the stats on things. You're just like, what does that mean? Because it's a THQ game, it doesn't come with a manual.
Right. Okay.
It's got like a fold-out thing, like a sheet of paper that folds out, gatefold. And yeah, so you're just looking at numbers, and I'll try to look for the manual, the digital manual within the game, because you know most games like Electronic Arts, you can look at the manual within the game. Couldn't find that, and there's things like it just says like resistance to what? No one's explained what that
It's
number
just
means.
your resistance to everything.
Is it, or is it to elements?
No,
I
I think
dunno.
it's an overall damage resistance. But you don't know, yeah. Like I did notice when playing it, it just doesn't explain what any of the stats. Some of them, are, you know, easy to get, but some of it's just like doesn't explain what it does and things like this. But
It does have certain sleeping dog elements to it, where it just doesn't kind of tell you stuff, or it tells you stuff once and then you can't find it again. So there's a character where you talk to him and he's rooted to the ground, and he needs you to find him rocks to eat. And when I came to one of those rocks, I couldn't remember how to collect it. I just had to pull out everything until my gun went, yeah, that'll work.
I suppose. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's still heavily environmental puzzle based. Once you clear rooms in dungeons, they don't respawn the characters.
Okay.
So it makes environmental puzzling easy, but I've finished the game now, and I'm going back into dungeons to kind of look for little bits and pieces to do side missions, and there's a lot of side missioning in it. And there's just like nothing to fight, which is a bit irritating.
it does make it easier when backtracking slightly, because it gets you to do a little bit of backtracking and things like that. When doing those little bits of backtracking, you don't want to have to fight for another room again and bits and pieces.
This is true. I mean, the open space areas do retain enemies, but they're relatively weak, most of them. So I'm kind of killing them 2 hits at the moment.
But you've completed the game as well, so I'm less sympathetic with you for wanting to play the game again.
Well, it's got New Game Plus.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool.
But it categorically says when you come to New Game Plus, if you start this, you're going to lose your side missions, and it's like I want to finish off my side missions.
Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, it's. I mean, it looks a lot like Darksiders 1 visually. Yeah. I mean, Darksiders 1's a good-looking game anyway.
It's tricky because initially when you start off, which is the Forge World, and I should say there's like 3 or 4 different realms that you go to. So there's Forge World, which is the home of the makers, the creators of everything.
That's where you can build like Halo levels, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's just floating Halo constructs where people play multiplayer matches.
Okay.
You go to Land of Dead, you go to a Heaven outpost, and you go to a Hell outpost. The first 2 of those are massive. So Forge World is roughly, maybe slightly smaller than the original Darksiders map. The Undead World, or Dead World, is almost the same size. And then you've got 2 more, which is a lot smaller, but their dungeons are a lot larger.
I really like the Forge World because I love its art style. So it's all sort of like grassy and mountains, and I love the makers because they're just oversized dwarves.
Yeah, they're massive.
They have like great beards and huge sets of armor, and I just love it.
They're very Joe Madureira in his core design. Certainly, yeah, they look like his artwork. The first world again makes it feel departed from number 1 because the music in there, the ambient music and the architecture and the general layout makes it look a lot more like kind of World of Warcraft rather than Darksiders. And it's only when you kind of start to get deep into that level that you start to see kind of citadels and stuff reminiscent of the first game. And I do be warned, the teleportation portal system is back.
It's still there, yeah.
But they add a twist to it. It's got time travel as well.
Nice. Right. Well, everything benefits from a bit of time travel. I mean, Death looks cool. I always think he doesn't look quite as cool as War from the first game.
Yeah.
And everything's a kind of a bit purple and green.
Yeah, he definitely smacks of Raziel from...
definitely, actually.
From Soul Reaver. He has a very similar look to him, and he moves in certain places, like when you're kind of scrabbling up the side of walls and stuff. he looks quite a lot like Raziel.
What are the characters like as a whole? I remember the first one had some awesome characters, and in particular voice work in it. The merchant guy, I can't remember his name was freaking
Volgrim.
hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, he is in it, but he's not anywhere near as much as the first game. And there are other merchants as well.
Okay.
I mean, for example, I should be kind of giving you a bit of backstory on this game because it goes into far more detail about the history. The first one was obviously setting the story up. This one is kind of like the backstory for the Horsemen. And I don't even know if in the first one it kind of explains what they are, because they're not angels and they're not demons, they're Nephilim.
Right.
And it kind of goes into quite a lot about how they turn against their brothers and stuff.
Does this take place after the first one?
No, it's while War is being held by the council, which I think he's there for, I can't remember, like 100 or 400 years or something. He's held by the council.
Right.
Is at the beginning of the game, and by the end of the game, it comes round to the point where the other three horsemen come to Earth at the end of the first game.
Okay. Do you ever see the other horsemen?
Yeah.
You see like Pestilence and
See, that's
it's not
got
Pestilence,
you. No,
is it?
it's Fury and Strife.
Fury and Strife.
And so the gun you've got,
That is more exciting than Pestilence and Famine, in fairness.
the gun you've got, it belongs to Strife.
Okay.
That you unlock during the game, which is very similar to War's gun, and almost equally useless.
Right.
I am loving the combat on Darksiders because I haven't played a game like it in a long time. And I'm just loving just messing about the controls and just doing different combos and things like that. I don't even look at my moveset. I just like randomly play around to see what I can do.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of rhythm based, so it's kind of tap tap and hold, or tap tap, wait and tap again. There's a lot because you can go to, not only is the dwarf guy that you meet on the first place, once you defeat him, you can then buy movesets from him.
Yeah.
There's also another guy in the Dead Kingdom who sells you moves as well. So you've got two skill trees, Harbinger and Necromancer, to unlock. So the Harbinger is kind of moves that Death does. The Necromancer is raising minions and the kind of stuff that they do. And then you've got a third skill tree which you purchase the skills from from vendors.
Yeah, the skills you purchase are all sort of combos and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, my favourite thing to do is evade out of combat, then evade back in and just hit attack. So he just like creates his scythe and just throws it.
Yeah.
So it's like completely useless, but it just looks awesome. I find myself doing that a lot, kicking people in the air. And
I have to say, for an open world game, it looks pretty badass. Graphically is done to a nice finish.
I mean, they always were good looking games, weren't they? It's a really nice style for a start. I love how chunky everything is.
Yeah.
Like the characters are just like, they're not in Gears of War sort of meat chunky. They're just sort of,
no, they're solid.
Yeah, exactly. And I kind of really like that. So yeah, it sounds cool. I would like to pick it up. It's one of those games. Darksiders I didn't pick up when it came out.
Right.
I got it months and months and months later. But it was. I feel like it's a game you can do that.
Yeah.
There's no real rush with the Darksiders games. Do you think there's going to be? You finished it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's going to be more?
Yeah. It's obviously it ends at the same point as number one, so it's kind of left open for.
Right.
I don't know whether it's going to be like one more game and you play as both all four.
I was going to say, I reckon that's how. I think they'll do something different, because I think initially when Darksiders 1 came out, they said there was going to be. No, I think they'd said they weren't going to do all four.
Right.
And then obviously they announced Darksiders 2 and it was death, and you're thinking, oh, they are going to do all four, right?
Yeah.
But now, if you're saying that it's not Famine and Pestilence anyway, it's
No.
Strife and
Fury.
If they've already gone in a different direction with it, yeah, I'd imagine the next game, if they do a third one, which you think they've got it, this has got to do it right. Yeah. Then yeah, something mixing it up, maybe playing as all four and have some big finish to whatever's climaxing. But that'd be cool. I like Darksiders. I'm glad it's done well. THQ really need this to do well.
Go and buy it quickly.
They've got to be celebrating at the moment, but I don't know how it's done. It's an interesting one between this and Sleeping Dogs. It's like, I don't know.
Sleeping Dogs has outsold it this week.
Sleeping Dogs has done really well. It's been at number one in the charts, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's been crazy.
Yeah, so this week it's still outselling Darksiders 2.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Darksiders 2 has done well
I
enough.
think Darksiders is one of those kind of games. It's like it's more long term. Where I imagine Sleeping Dogs is going to be a lot more short term in burst. It's kind of
and
like
they're different.
Mass
They are
Effect.
different audiences, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, personally, you guys, you've both played both. What do you reckon? What if you can only buy one? What do you buy?
It's tricky, man.
Yeah, it's tricky, but I need an answer.
I'd go Darksiders.
I don't know.
Doesn't know.
I don't know. They're both good.
Okay.
They're both good.
All right, that's fair enough. Well, Sleeping Dogs was my answer. I didn't get Darksiders, but I still want to play Darksiders, so that's pretty interesting.
I am definitely after this going back and playing Darksiders 1 because I never played it.
I think I need to go back to Darksiders 1, so I might pick it up if I can find it cheap enough.
All right, well, what else have we played? Joe?
Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike Go.
Counter-Strike, yeah, Global Offensive.
Grocery outlet.
I didn't buy this, I just picked up the demo, which gives you 45 minutes.
Yeah, we should profess it. Xbox Live Arcade
Yeah.
game in this year. This week. Like this one game a year. Yeah, Counter-Strike Goblins and Orcs.
I was very surprised to hear this was coming because I didn't hear about it until last week, like just before it came
Yeah, I
out.
forgot about it. It was announced ages ago, and there's been a beta on the PC for what feels like forever.
Yeah.
But it's you think there'd be more of a hoo-ha about it.
Yeah, I was surprised when someone told me that it's out, in a couple of days. I was like, they're actually doing it for Xbox?
Yeah.
It was just out of nowhere.
It's also kind of weird that it's not free to play. I kind of think initially, I thought they were doing a free to play Counter-Strike game, and maybe they did, but yeah, this kind of surprised me that it's not free to play.
I couldn't see how they'd do a free-to-play Counter-Strike, really.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that the other day
Yeah.
as well, because there's not a lot of things you can offer to buy for a Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it's
So
just
it's not
like...
like Team Fortress 2 where it's all cartoony fun and stuff. Counter-Strike is serious, right? You can't even change like the player models too much.
No.
And it's not like you can have wacky guns or anything. It's fucking Counter-Strike. And I played this as well. I played the demo of it. Because the demos... I'm really enjoying these demos from multiplayer games at the moment.
Yeah.
Hybrid did this and this did this as well. Full game, just for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, brilliant. What a great way of getting like a proper idea of doing it. This game is so fucking Counter-Strike, it's unreal.
I don't know, first time, it's like I started off the tutorial. As soon as I started playing, I was like, this is just Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere.
It totally is. I mean, I think initially when this game was announced, it was going to be cross-platform.
Okay.
PC and 360, and maybe even PS3, who knows, altogether. Playing on one. That's not the case anymore, so... Yeah, it's Counter-Strike. This isn't made by Valve. I can't remember who the developer was.
So is it just published by Valve then?
Yeah, well, I don't know if they've now... Valve have that habit, and they have, if someone makes something, they buy them and then they release it, yeah? That's what they did with Left Dead and various other bits. But and Portal, I suppose, essentially. So I don't know if they now own them, but they've certainly worked very closely with them anyway. So, although strictly not a Valve-developed game, it obviously is a Valve game. But it's Counter-Strike. It doesn't look particularly pretty.
No, it looks Counter-Strike.
Yeah, exactly.
The game is just,
I think that's the point, though. I think Counter-Strike has now got... it's a huge following anyway, obviously. It's a very competitive game. Whoa. Action outside. I don't know if you heard that, listeners at home. But Counter-Strike obviously got a huge following. And it's very competitive and very, the whole game looks like it's been designed to keep lag down to a minimum.
Yeah.
So all the levels and all the designs are very flat. The characters look kind of nice, but the levels themselves look kind of flat, very squared-edged, and very sort of optimized running speed is what it looks like.
It's fast.
It is fast. Counter-Strike's very different to normal shooters, isn't it? That's the thing.
It's like Quake, because Quake was always just really quick and moving, and
it's precision-based, and it's round-based. You get one life, don't you? And then you spend a lot of time in each match watching, basically, if you've died.
Yeah.
But it's, no iron sights.
Yeah, that was really weird. I pulled the left trigger to go into iron sights. My character crouched, and I was like, "The fuck is it doing?"
Yeah, crouching. A lot of it's based around sound, so it's how you move. Players will hear you moving towards them. So as soon as it becomes like you and the last guy left on the map, you just crouch, and everyone just starts moving really slowly because you just don't want the person to hear them going for it. But it's just Counter-Strike. I actually didn't enjoy this demo because it was just Counter-Strike, and I've kind of moved on because Counter-Strike is kind of a bit too hard as nails for me.
I had some fun playing bots because I didn't go online because I knew I'd just get demolished because Counter-Strike it's just too serious, and I don't have the learning curve for it, and people would just obliterate me. So I just thought I'd have some fun running around playing different game types with bots.
It's just everyone playing online. It's just everyone playing Dust, the level. That's the one famous Counter-Strike level that I remember everyone playing last time I played Counter-Strike, and now they're still playing it again. It's all right. You said last week you weren't sure whether people were going to pick it up. There's loads of people playing it.
Yeah.
And I think there will be for ages. It seems like it's just that's their intention. It's just kind of move Counter-Strike forwards to get everyone that's been playing Counter-Strike for years in kind of one place, because there's people playing different versions of it with different mods on there, different skin upgrades and various things. It's a bloody old game, and now it's like, yep, here you go, it's Counter-Strike. Now everyone play this, and it seems really geared up for esports and stuff.
Yeah, I can see it being there in like 6 years' time, just the same version, everyone just running around playing it.
Yeah, totally. It'd be interesting to see how Valve support it on the PC. I've got this on the PC. I've obviously got the demo on 360. I did play the PC version, and it's much the same. But it's funny when you go into the how to play section on the menus. The PC version clearly just looks like the Xbox Live Arcade version, right? Like there's just the same version.
Right.
You go in there to how to play, and it shows you a fucking Xbox controller and the buttons, and you're like, yeah, because as a PC player of Counter-Strike, I'm definitely going to use a 360 pad and not fucking mouse and keyboard, because that's going to give me the edge of everyone else. Like, I'm sure loads of people looked at that and were like really happy to see an Xbox controller, you know?
Yeah, that's weird, because Counter-Strike on PC is just... You can't play it without a keyboard. Everything just moves well too fast to use a controller.
You don't play FPSs on PCs with a pad. It's just kind of, the rules. And certainly not something like this. So, yeah, it's interesting. But it's also, I'm kind of a bit disappointed by it.
Yeah, I was expecting more from a new Counter-Strike than just Counter-Strike.
Well, yeah, you said the words there, a new Counter-Strike, and that is exactly not what this is.
It's just Counter-Strike with a new name.
Do you see the gun game mode is in there? Gun game in Black Ops, right?
Yeah.
So that was initially born in Counter-Strike as a mode.
Okay.
And it was called Gun Game, and now it's called Arms Race because Black Ops is called theirs Gun Game. They just went, yeah, we'll have that.
Battlefield is called theirs Gunmaster.
Gunmaster.
Yeah.
Gun Wizard. That's what I'm after. Gun Sorcerer. Sorcerer of the Guns.
Maybe. On an RPG they'll make one.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, Counter-Strike Go, it's alright.
Yeah, it's just Counter-Strike.
You should know what you're going in for when you get it, and if you do, then you might like it. Like, you can already decide whether you're going to like it or not. Like, Sean, you're going to buy it? No, exactly. See, and that's the right choice. But if you're like, I like Counter-Strike, then you'd like Counter-Strike Grocery Outlet.
Is that just the front?
Counter-Strike.
Ghost Operations.
Yeah, Ghost Operations. Counter-Strike Great Orange.
I think that's enough, Gio.
Alright, man. Well, yeah, so that was Counter-Strike. What else have you been playing?
Binary Domain.
Binary Domain? Why? Why'd you pick that up now? What's wrong with you?
Actually, I did say on last week's show that I was going to get it at some point.
But why?
Because I have not played it yet.
It's got Big Bow in it.
Yeah.
Big Bow.
Yeah. I've not played much.
Just enough to see Big Bow. So it's like Gears of War style.
Yeah, cover-based
shooter. Yeah, set in the future, robots.
Yeah.
Big Bow.
Yeah.
He's like Coltrane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly what it's like. So far, I've had a couple of kind of standout moments in it. Fighting a giant robot with cranes and stuff. A nice water slide section. I really like that.
Water slide
yeah.
section.
When after the cutscene, once you take out the robot with a girder, it gets back up anyway, and you're kind of at the Japanese seawall.
All right, okay.
Protects against tsunamis and stuff. And yeah, your only option is to kind of jump off this seawall, and it's like a water slide. It's got water rushing down, and there's like massive pipes everywhere, and you've got to slide in between the pipes.
Well, it's like a proper full-on, like the penguin going down Super Mario 64's slopes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
That seems nuts. All right, yeah, that's cool.
That's by far the best bit.
This game, what I'm interested about this game, and I want to give it a go because it's got voice commands in it.
Yes.
Which
it encourages you to. It says basically, if you don't wear your headset and shout at your television, then it will limit your gaming experience.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just press the left bumper. Brings up.
Does that mean it also gives you audio through your headset? Because there's been a couple of games that have done it. I mean, Manhunt obviously did it, and there was something else that I can't remember. But I kind of love that in games where I'm still getting, where it's like I've got an operator in my head.
No, because you're shouting to your squad members.
Okay, so they when they talk, presumably they talk back to me.
Yeah.
But I won't hear that through my headset.
Well, yeah. If you've got your game volume up.
Oh no, but I don't know. No, but as a separate channel, just through the headset, not the game volume coming through headphones, but just like that.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're using like a classic. Xbox,
yeah. So
I doubt
mimicking that exact sort of phone-like experience, because very few games do it, but when they do, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Because it really does put you there in the experience. And I just wondered with this using that whether it would do it.
Well, I've lent it to you, so try it out.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
I've never been able to use voice commands on anything. Nothing can understand me.
Yeah, we can't understand.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. That's
What are
I
you
hear.
talking about?
I bring up
Who knows?
Eye in the Sky.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Joe?
I don't know. Apparently, my accent is not English.
What?
It's sorry, we don't speak
What
French.
what are you talking about?
This game doesn't support Japanese.
Say it again, but slowly and clearly. Joe,
No,
Joe, what do you mean?
it's not happening.
What? Sorry? Snappany? Joe, come on. It's the podcast. We need to hear you talk.
What do you want me to say?
What?
I'm not doing this. Just continue.
I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm gonna have to try and sort this out. I don't know. Maybe on the break. Maybe we should take a break and see if we can. This has all gone really wrong. Joe. No, I just want to take this time to apologise to all the listeners anyway, because we're 32 episodes in now, and Sean and I don't listen to Joe, so we didn't know that you couldn't understand anything he said. And so I think we're going to have to re-record all the other episodes. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break now. Listen to some music that Joe chose earlier. Joe, in your telephone voice, please, could you tell us what this piece of music is and why we're listening to it?
I don't know what the title is because it's like Gangnam Style or something like this.
Yes.
Sean was calling it Gundam Style, but it's like Gangnam or something like
Gangnam.
that. Yeah, and it's some weird Asian music. I think we think it's Japanese in some way, but it just makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't catch any of that.
오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자 밤이 오면 심장이 뜨거워지는 여자 그런 반전 있는 여자 너는 선호해 낮에는 너만큼 따사로운 그런 선호해 커피 식기도 전에 원샷 때리는 선호해 밤이 오면 심장이 터져버리는 선호해 그런 선호해 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 아름다워 사랑스러워 그래 너 그래 바로 너 지금부터 갈 때까지 가볼까 오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 오빤 강남 스타일 강남 스타일 오빤 강남 스타일 에이 섹시 레이디 오빤 강남 스타일 에이 섹시 레이디 성숙해 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 여자 이때다 싶으면 묶었던 머리 푸는 여자 가렸지만 웬만한 노출보다 야한 여자 그런 감각적인
Alright,
여자
we're back. That was Japan being crazy. Well, we think it was Japan. You brought it to our attention, Joe, and for that you should be...
Shot.
Yeah.
I bring you all the best things.
Do you?
Don't lie.
I just think you're sitting there watching YouTube videos of girls. A lot.
I don't do that.
No?
No.
Okay. He says with a wry chuckle. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, well let's chat about some news, some stuff, some action that's been happening. Grand Theft Auto 5. They've been releasing a load of screenshots. Like, constantly. It seems like every day they've been doing it, but I think it's been every week. They've just been releasing a whole bunch of new ones. We had a brief look at them today, and they look swish. They mainly seem to be focused around vehicles.
Yeah.
So they've shown that like bicycles are back, San Andreas bicycles.
No, isn't there mountain bikes in this one?
Yeah, but that's still a bicycle.
Yeah, it's not BMX though.
No, I didn't say it was BMX.
You said
It
it was
says
a
San
bicycle.
Andreas.
Was it only BMXs in
Only
San Andreas?
BMXs, yeah.
All right, okay. Well, yeah. So there's mountain bikes or little racers actually,
Yeah.
don't they? That's kind of cool. I kind of
It'd
want
be,
those.
it'd be quite interesting to see if they do like a variety of bikes.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we're getting at. It's going to get a whole wide variety of vehicles.
Stats, so
Yeah.
that races are
As long as it doesn't mean that the keeping fit aspect is back from San Andreas.
I didn't mind it because it was part of my daily routine in San Andreas. I'd wake up, I'd go to the gym, do some workouts, go and get something to eat so his belly didn't start rumbling, and then go off and cause some
But
crime.
that's not at all what I want from a GTA game.
No,
In the
it was
slightest.
the game
enjoyable.
was the game was too big as it was without having to fucking worry about CJ and his health.
Yeah, exactly. I was sitting there thinking, oh man, I'm fat. My character is fat in this game, and now I've got no energy or I just stay indoors. I'm not going out today. I'm not going to go carjacking or do any of my drug busts or anything like that. I'm just going to stay indoors because I'm too fat and the world hates me. I'm never going to get a date in this game. And it wasn't until I lost some weight in Grand Theft Auto 4 that I actually got a date, and we went and saw Ricky Gervais. It was good. It was good times.
I was surprised at how good those screenshots looked.
They look nice.
Yeah, it looked like one hell of an engine they're running there.
I mean, Rockstar screenshots always look nice, and it's not terribly indicative of gameplay, I suppose, but it's in engine.
Yeah.
But they could be taken from a Flash trailer. I mean, their trailers look nice as well, don't they? So, but again, all that's still in engine. There's some cool stuff. So vehicles, they showed like an 18-wheeler fucking juggernaut at one point with a dude hanging on the side of it, which was cool. It's cool to be hanging on the side of a vehicle anyway. Sleeping Dogs taught us that.
Yep.
But also, there's never really been big articulated lorries in GTA.
They've only ever had the cabs, never the whole lorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in Vice City you could hitch up a trailer.
I think
maybe.
in original Grand Theft Auto, wasn't there, the top-down one? You had to drive a 16-wheeler with bombs attached to it.
Yeah, I guess. But then I couldn't jump on the side of that in that one.
No.
About all I knew was where the tank was in that game. That's all I knew about that.
So that's cool. Articulated lorries in GTA, I think it would be wicked because I love the idea of jackknifing one in the road and it just like
causing a 10-car pile-up.
That would be sweet. I kind of like that. Just as good as it was to like fire rockets at the train in Saints Row.
Just let it blow off the track.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of stuff's cool. So that I'm quite happy with. They showed some mad sort of like fighter jet.
Yeah, so it looks like jets are back.
Yeah. Which is cool because that's one of the things I kind of missed from Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, no air vehicles at all.
No.
It also shows me screenshots like what seems to be a different playable character.
Right.
Which some people are alluding to the idea that you play as not one guy but multiple guys in this.
Being interesting.
It's either that, isn't it, or customization.
Yeah.
Like some serious customization, like Saints Row level customization.
Which I'd love to see in Grand Theft Auto.
I think they need to do it really because it's just been weak.
It's just the problem is it's tough to do that. I mean, I think the argument would be if they don't give you full control over your character in terms of customization, they can make a more compelling story-based experience, like Red Dead. Or any of the GTAs really, certainly GTA 4 as well. It's hard to put a compelling character-led story when you don't know what that character's going to be.
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily need to have the full build on the character. I think you can have a base model which serves as everybody's character,
right,
whose name is Dave. But I think they need to give you control over hair, over tattoos, over garments.
Okay.
Over facial hair, over glasses, blah blah blah.
Yeah, well, so that I think that you probably will get. It was just because GTA 4 they gave you some of that, but just not enough.
Just felt like a massive step backwards.
Yeah, they gave
it
you
felt
very
like
little.
it jumped back to basics. It cut everything down, and it felt like number 3.
All it gave you was that meager selection of clothes you could buy, and that was it.
It was very little, yeah. But there's never been loads in a GTA series. Not in
San
Andreas
Andreas was
San
crazy.
Andreas was mental.
All right. I don't like San Andreas.
Neither do I. I hate it.
Exactly. It's the bastard child.
I liked it at the time. I liked it. It wasn't Vice City, but
Yeah.
The world map on that was just well too big.
it was huge.
But these screens anyway, they look great. They
Yeah.
look so good. And like the cars, some of the detail on the cars just looks mental. So I'll be curious to see. No one really knows when this is coming out.
No.
I think there's still sort of grumblings of it being this year, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I can't see it because Rockstar and their Christmas releases just don't happen.
No.
They're always middle of the year.
But it's this generation. It's not going to be next.
Yeah.
It's gonna be this cycle of consoles. But yeah, we will see. I'm ready for a GTA. They
Yeah.
take too fucking long to make their games,
They
man.
do take a long time.
And after Red Dead, you got to think that the next thing they do is gonna be pretty special.
Yeah. Hope so.
Because they seem to have all risen in quality pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always rely on Rockstar to make a beautiful game.
A beautiful game.
Yeah, they are. They do generally look really shiny. and, you know.
Football, next generation football game coming from Rockstar.
Oh really?
No, we was just talking
Oh,
about
okay.
them.
The beautiful game.
Yeah.
I see.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Game of two halves. I think. I don't know. I hate football. So one of the things I wanted to talk about actually is not gaming related, but it's still just awesome. And I showed you guys the trailer earlier. It's this new Star Wars animated
Detours.
series that's coming out. Yeah, Star Wars Detours. It's made by the Robot Chicken guys, so Seth Green and the gang, and Seth MacFarlane's in it, and it's that whole troupe of
Yeah.
of dudes, yeah, and it's got a load of Star Wars original actors like Billy D. Williams is in it and
Right.
Anthony Daniels and stuff, and it's what is it? It's like it looks like it's kind of same humor as Robot Chicken,
Yeah.
but it's kind of CG animated, almost in a Clone Wars sort of style,
Very stylized.
yeah, and just looks funny as hell, man.
It does look really good.
I think the idea is that it's not retelling Star Wars in any way. This is just like the everyday lives of
Yeah.
all of the characters you know within a Star Wars universe, and that's what I liked the most. Is it had Jar Jar and old school Obi-Wan, and was it's got Han Solo in it. It's the original characters that you kind of like, as well as the new one. So it didn't take, although it's got Jar Jar in there, and I bring him up because he's a new series character,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have young Obi-Wan.
No.
It has old Obi-Wan. It has Alec Guinness, old Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of maybe set between both trilogies. It's got quite a lot of laps over between them.
Yeah, I don't think it's set anywhere. I think it's just all the characters in sitcom life, basically.
Sort of, but in the trailer, it's got Leia talking to the fish dude that owns the diner that Obi-Wan goes to, and they're talking about Padme,
Yeah, true.
and she's dead.
And
at that
she's
point.
dead. That's a good point. Yeah, well, she would be, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Leia's there.
All right, okay. Yeah, so maybe it is. Yeah, it's got to be further. I mean, 'cause Jar Jar's the only connection that we're making, isn't it? Really, and Jar Jar can still
No,
be alive.
because that fish guy's only from the original, the second trilogy, isn't he? He's the one that young
All right.
Obi-Wan goes.
But they
and
can.
talks
We don't
to
know how long
about
they live for.
Jango
I don't know.
Fett's
I don't
fucking-
know how long these species of Star Wars characters
like
live.
it seems like it's crossing both. So
Well, we definitely
the
know.
language thing is that it's in
Yeah,
between.
I guess the one thing we definitely know is that Leia and that troop of people it's definitely themed around them, and we know how long they live for
Yes,
because they're humans.
yes.
So yeah, it looks cool. It just kind of looks like it takes all the bits of Star Wars that everyone kind of likes and just puts them in funny situations. It was
Yeah,
funny.
It looks like it's just what happens in between shots of Star Wars the film.
Yeah, exactly.
General Akbar
Yeah,
running around the diner.
that was quite funny.
It's a rap. it's really good. I kind
Yeah.
of love that. And he's like, yeah, that's funny.
There's certain bits in the trailer did make me giggle. I'm not 100% sold. I'll have to check the show.
I just love the way that General Akbar in that is so small.
Yeah, because they're kind of cutesy, almost like chibi versions of
Yeah,
all the
there's kind of a lot
characters.
of SD kind
Yeah.
of design going on, but Vader looks particularly chunky.
Yeah.
No, he's really small at the bottom and really big at the top. If you look,
Fist and North Star style.
A bit
Yeah.
like Stewie in the Family Guy Star Wars stuff,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, so that looks kind of cool. Just wanted to throw that out there. There's got to be some Star Wars fans out there, right? Star Wars Detours, check it out. Lollipop Chainsaw sold a load of copies. Like, more copies than they were expecting. It sold 700,000 copies, which, that's not a lot of copies.
How many copies does they print?
I don't know, 700,000. No, but that's not loads of copies in the grand scheme of things,
No.
but it's still not bad. But it was the best. It was the most they'd sold, Grasshopper.
yeah, it was their
It's
best-selling
their
game.
best-selling game, yeah. And so from that, Suda51 was talking about his next game, which is called Killer is Dead, which,
It's a kind of spiritual sequel to Killer 7, isn't it?
yeah, that's sort of No More Heroes sort of vibe. And it's, yeah, swords and cel-shaded-y sort of stuff. Not a lot else is really known about it, but I'm ready for some more. Lollipop Chainsaw made me believe.
Yeah, I'm interested to look at the new one. Because I hadn't played one before, Lollipop, and I loved Lollipop Chainsaw.
You should probably give Shadows of the Damned a go. It's probably worth a look.
You have
if
a
you like
PS3,
Lollipop.
try No More Heroes.
Oh, No More Heroes, yeah.
oh yeah,
give
but it's
them
so
a
hard
go.
to find, really. PS3
Yeah.
copy.
Yeah, but
It is.
worth it if you can.
Yeah.
So that's quite cool. Konami have got a conference in the next couple of days, on the 30th. I believe it's for their 25th anniversary of Metal Gear.
Right.
And they have said, and I quote, that their announcements will shake the industry. Dun, dun, dun.
And so Joe had a hypothesis. What was your hypothesis, Joe?
I reckon they'll just show off the Fox engine properly for the first time.
Yeah, that's maybe the case. They've been
Yeah.
teasing it for a while.
Yeah, it all started a couple of years back at E3 with just the monitor behind.
Haido.
Yeah. So, it may be that, or they may just go, hey, Metal Gear 5. But, we'll find
Well,
out.
and maybe that whole bunch, it might be,
Yeah.
Metal Gear 4 comes to 360, Metal Gear 5 gets properly announced. Here's the Fox engine, and here's, I don't know, an orchestra playing the theme tune or something. I don't know. But that's cool. That's on Thursday, so we'll be able to talk about that next week. But I want some good Metal Gear stuff. But I've been wanting good Metal Gear stuff for like 10 years, Like, since Metal Gear Solid, I've wanted some more good Metal Gear stuff, and I haven't really had it. They keep going, yeah, this is good Metal Gear stuff, and I'm like, I'll give it a go, and it's not. It never is.
I don't know, I always loved Metal Gear. All of the games they've made, I've loved.
No. Metal Gear Solid, I loved, and everything else, even Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater, which is very good, it's still already taken it. It's like it's a good game, but it's already taken it on a tangent where I didn't want it to go in the first place.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
wanted more Metal Gear Solid.
I get what you mean.
And Revengeance, Metal Gear Rising, I can handle that because it's just a badass robot with a sword chopping helicopters in half. That's fine. I don't even think of that as the same as Metal Gear. I'm just sold on. You just chopped a helicopter in half with a sword. A helicopter's got 4 swords on top of it, for Christ's sake. Crazy. So, there you go.
We'll see.
What can you do? I bought you both a gift in the midweek. I know. And there's a reason for this. I was in town last week, just doing my normal browsing, just around the shops. Not getting anything particularly special. Let me just get the gift here. And I went into well, let's have a look. Let's just see what it is. Let's see what I got. You ready for this, Joe?
Yeah, I've been waiting.
There's a possibility, I will add now, there's a possibility that these are useless to you. But that's not the point, because it's a gift, so you have to like them, right? I got one for myself as well, but and we should do something about it if we can. Let's just unzip the gift bag. There we go. Now, I need you both to close your eyes, really. Just for this moment, while I hand you something each. And you can open your eyes now. What you're holding in your hands there is a copy of Cold War on the Xbox. Great game, I believe. It's about a man who's a photographer in a war-type scenario. Check it out. Get a load of it. Steal weapons, improvise gadgets, evade capture, uncover the conspiracy, says the box.
Do you know what the strange thing is? I've actually always wanted to play this game.
There you go.
I've seen loads of it and never actually got hold of a copy.
The reason I bought it, and I should add, why am I buying Xbox games, right? It's brand new, right? It's in a cellophane and everything. And the reason I bought these is because I was in Poundland.
Yeah, I did notice they've started doing them in
And
there.
they were selling Xbox games in Poundland.
Right.
So I gave them, I gave them $39.99 each for your copies, and then and picked those up. It doesn't play on your 360. I can check that. I've tested that. It doesn't. It's not one that's supported backwards compatibility. I've still got my Xbox, so I'll give mine a go. I remember this coming out because I remember I didn't review it, but I remember someone else reviewing it back when I was on Xbox World.
Is it as bad as it looks?
No, I think it's probably worse.
Excellent.
I do like the way that Poundland are selling American titles.
It's from the label on the back says iGams, which I presume is games, but igamz.co.uk, which is a website that obviously they're from. Let's give you a bit of the game. On the run and fighting for your life, you are a freelance journalist, Matt Carter. 12 hours after arriving in Moscow for a routine story, you've been stripped of all possessions, beaten unconscious, and thrown into the KGB's political prison. Caught in the midst of an international conspiracy that aims to control the USSR, you are now on your own behind the Iron Curtain. Using only recovered weapons and improvised gadgets, sounds good. You must now evade and eliminate special Soviet forces and defeat the conspiracy, or risk being either killed or sent to a remote Siberian prison camp. So 2 game over screens. Either you're dead or you've been sent to a Siberian prison camp. If it's good, it's £1. Everyone could get those. Listeners, get down to your Poundland now. Buy yourself a game for £1. It's good.
Right, for this entire programme, I've been sitting with a double-decker chocolate bar in front of me.
Nestle double. Is it Nestle?
I don't know. Cadbury's.
No. It's Cadbury.
Oh, epic fail.
Yeah.
Specifically so I could go, Mike, I'm going to take back some of the things I've said about you. You've earned it. What film, Joe?
I don't know.
It's
It's not coming to me.
Ghostbusters.
Double decker.
You always quote Ghostbusters and I never know.
So that double decker cost me £2. So there you go. But no, how weird is that?
It is very strange.
Poundland doing Xbox games.
American Xbox games.
Yeah, and
sealed.
How weird did I look going up there with 3 copies of Cold War?
Right, this guy loves the Cold War.
Exactly. I just tripled that game's sales that one day, which is kind of nuts. So we should give it a go. And
that means I have to get my Xbox down.
Yeah, I know.
I don't even have an original Xbox.
Well, maybe we'll lend you one so you can do it. But we should probably.
I did have 2 at one point.
We should probably talk about it. It's moderately cool. Yeah, the Iron Curtain, man. Are you ready to go behind it, Joe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, what else has happened? Any other news? What's been going on in the world that you've noticed? Tell us about Battlefield, Joe. What's going on in Battlefield now?
They're having a double XP event. Let's not call it a weekend because it's not a weekend. They were like, we're going to give you 24 hours of double XP. and for every 5,000 likes we get on Facebook, we'll give you an extra 12 hours. 156 hours they racked up, so it ends on the 31st.
Wow, okay. That's quite cool, I suppose.
Yeah. I was surprised that they got so many. I was expecting, maybe 2 or 3 days. It's
There's
like
a lot
week.
of people playing Battlefield.
Yeah,
You
there
love
are.
it. You love it. You've been dying to talk about this whole show. You've been like, I don't give a shit about Darksiders or any other bollocks. Just let me talk about Battlefield. That's why I asked you. Double XP weekend. How much XP did you earn?
Well, it depends on the match, somewhere between 10 and
No, well,
30.
how much XP have you earned, like, in the last couple of days?
300,000.
I don't care how much XP you earn. What does it, that doesn't matter to me.
But I knew Joe would know the answer to that question. Everybody else would be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Loads.
well,
Joe's
whatever,
like,
it's
yeah,
just an X amount.
3,912.
What do you think the X? What do you think the X stands for? I don't fucking know. Jesus. That's interesting with the Facebook stuff, though.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice idea.
It leads me to talk about Rock Band Blitz, which comes out next week on XBLA. It's the arcade game. It has a lot of Facebook stuff in that as well, where you can set challenges. So Rock Band Blitz, if you don't know, it's a new Rock Band game made by Harmonix, but it's a game that doesn't use any plastic controllers at all. In fact, you can't use them. Well,
You can use your joypad. That's plastic controller.
yeah, I suppose. But I suppose you could plug in a guitar to it, but it's not. They don't work with it. That's not the idea. And it's kind of like Amplitude and Frequency, which were two great Harmonix games back in the day for PS2. And it works a similar way, where you've got like a note highway coming towards you, and you're a ship essentially, or some sort of paddle that goes across the different tracks.
Right.
So you've got vocals, bass, guitar, and drums all on the same thing, and you play all of the parts. And then what you do is you move your counter or whatever it is that passes over the notes across from each track, and then with the like shoulder buttons of the controller, and then just using, I think it's the D-pad and the face buttons, just whatever button, like left on the D-pad and B or whatever. You press left and right, and it just breaks every segment of the song into 2 button presses.
Okay.
So the vocals would just be 2 button presses in patterns of left and right, left and right, left and right. You do that for each one, and you play all the tracks at the same time essentially and flip between them. It's cool. It's kind of awesome. It's difficult to explain because it's kind of more complex than that, but it's similar to Guitar Hero and Rock Band, but it's not one of those sort of games. It's much more of just a rhythm-based game.
Right.
The cool thing about it is it uses all of your DLC from all of the previous games and in a different way. So if you're like me and you've bought, I've spent hundreds of pounds on Rock Band DLC over the years, but I don't play Rock Band anymore.
No.
In fact, I'm never going to play Rock Band anymore.
No.
And this is a good way of I've still got these tracks, I can use them.
Recycle them.
Yeah. And that's got a full sort of like auto log system where you're always playing against your buddies on your friends list and showing you who's better and who's worse. And you can send challenges to each other. So the Facebook thing comes into it, so you can send challenges over Facebook. There's also like daily and weekly challenges, a la Halo 4, that you get through that, and community-led ones where it's like get 10,000 stars in any metal song,
right.
And there'll be something that's community-wide, so everyone has to try and do it, and they're all contributing to it. But also you can send challenges. What's weird about it, and crafty kind of, is that I can send you a challenge in it, Joe, and go, yeah, get 500,000 points in Love Shack by the B-52s, and you might not even have Love Shack by the B-52s, but I can still send you that challenge. So that's going to get
entices you to go and buy more tracks.
It's
Though no one wants to buy Love Shack.
no,
B-52.
well,
I don't know, I like it.
Rock Lobster maybe,
Rock Lobster, yeah,
but only because of Family Guy.
But it's quite cool. I think it's only $10, so I think it's like 800 points. I think it's an 800 pointer,
Right.
and or maybe it is 1,200 points actually. But it comes with 25 songs, and they're pretty good. There's some good stuff, and there's like good new stuff in there. Like, I say good new stuff. That's questionable, but it's things like there's that Maroon 5 track that moves like Jagger one.
Right.
And things like that, and it's got some newer stuff, and all of that can then flow back into Rock Band if you've got Rock Band, so that's quite cool. But it seems alright. I'm kind of interested in this game.
I have no interest whatsoever.
Did you ever play Amplitude or Frequency?
No.
You need to. They're games that kind of.
Did you even ever play Guitar Hero?
No.
I'm going to lend you Guitar Hero
Yeah,
free.
you
No,
got-
it's not happening.
Guitar Hero free.
I have no coordination for those things.
Free is by far the
I
best
can't
Guitar Hero.
focus.
3?
Yeah.
No, Guitar Hero
Yeah.
2 was
No.
superb. Absolutely
I
superb.
miss Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah, it was very good.
3 was where I came in.
But Frequency and Amplitude are well worth checking out anyway. It's just sort of cool rhythm action games. And I'm curious in this. I think it's one of those games you need to see it. And then, because I can't explain it well enough, it's really kind of difficult. But I think if you played it, it's kind of like, yeah, I could be down for that. It's been a while since I've had a game like that. And I did love them. I did.
Did you?
I really did, Joe. I really did. So, yeah, Rock Band Blitz. It's next week's XBLA. I'm going to buy it. Just try and stop me.
I'm not going to try and stop you. I want you to
Go
buy
for
it.
it.
Hey, shit, I was going to give away something.
You can do it now.
How can we forget about something so large as this? Before we go into Educating Joe, we did those competitions for ages. We had our good friends at Excalibur Publishing just pumping out hit after hit that we were able to throw your way in order for, an answer to a very simple question. But this week, no games. No games. I ain't got any games to give away. I haven't got any pointless tat to give away. No key rings, posters, mouse mats. None of that shit. No games, man. No simulators. Today we're giving away something a lot more special. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah.
Today we're going to give away a brand new car. Get that? This humble little podcast, is giving away a brand new car. We are giving away a mini John Cooper Works Clubman. That's like a mini, like a brand new mini, like one of those funky minis. It's black and it's got a red roof. To win this mini, all you've got to do is be fast on your little fingers, people. To win this mini, go to your Xbox, hit the guide button, go over to the left a little bit or wherever it is, find the redeem code option and enter this code. 44RQX T7J4V X42T4 W9J4Y 9GV6Z. If you enter that code into that little box that says redeem code, you could win a car. You will win a car for Forza.
And only if you're first.
Yeah. No, I mean, don't blame us if you get there and it's already gone. But as of this point, it's there.
Yeah, and remember, you do require in-game credits to acquire the car.
Nice one, Joe. Rain on the parade. Look, you can win a car. Keys are in it. They're waiting for you. It's a mini John Cooper Works Clubman. That looks really nice. On the there, yeah.
And apparently it's better with Connect.
It's always better. Everything's better with Connect, isn't it?
No, not really.
Let's go into Educating Joe.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Joe. He didn't play many video games as a child. He was too busy out running and jumping through fields, perhaps stealing apples. But then one day, he found himself inexplicably on a video game podcast, and two guys, Mike and Sean, vowed to take him back through time to play the games he missed. This is Educating Joe.
Okay, Educating Joe. Rock and Roll Racing. I love this game.
It is pretty awesome.
It's fucking amazing. Come on. The stage is set. The green flag drops. Snake is in the lead. I love this game.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love
it's
it.
Awesome.
Interplay published it. It's a Blizzard game.
Is it?
Yeah.
We did. It was stated last week that it was a Blizzard game.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
a
pay
Blizzard
much
game. Let's explain. It's isometric racing game a la RC Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Very similar to that, in fact. Very, very similar to that.
I think there's a couple of games that follow the formula.
Yeah, but this is that very specific of you're quite zoomed in. The cars are quite chunky and quite big.
You don't see much track ahead of you.
No, exactly. You just kind of get the next turn, basically. So it's isometric, and you are one of four vehicles. There's like is it 4 vehicles or is it 3?
4.
There's like a muscle car type thing. There's
there's 3 vehicles to choose from, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a muscle car type thing, like a doom buggy type thing, and like one that looks like a stealth plane.
Yeah.
And you go around the track. You got one button for acceleration. You move left and right does not change depending on where. Like sometimes you're racing down the screen and you're still pressing right to turn what it would essentially be left on the screen.
But it works.
And there's power ups you get. You get like oil slicks.
Yep.
And you can jump and you can fire weapons.
Yep.
Fire like lasers.
Yep, you can drop spike strips.
I've got Airblade. See, I upgraded as fast as possible to the highest grade car.
Yeah.
So I get missiles and I get mines.
I just always like that I like the car. You can choose your colour of car, like the yellow car, and I like it to be the little muscle car. That's kind of what I want it to be. And that's what it always is.
I think if you stay the muscle car by the end and everybody else is upgraded to the Airblades, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's true. You choose characters in it as well, don't you? You've got like kind of David Bowie, a Viking, and a lizard man.
There's about 5-6 characters.
Oh, is there? Okay, well one of them's definitely like there's like a cyborg, isn't there?
Yeah.
But there's also like 80s David Bowie sort of dude.
Is that Snake
I think that is
Sanders?
Snake.
Maybe, yeah.
From Earth.
And
That's
it's Olaf, the Vikings Olaf from Lost Vikings.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I love this game. What stands out for me most about it is the music. I freaking love the music.
Yeah.
It's got awesome MIDI versions of like classic rock tracks like Paranoid and
Bad to the Bone.
Yeah, Bad to the Bone and Iron Man and all this stuff. And that's awesome. It's really for what is bad versions of the music because it's MIDI based. They're awesome.
Yeah.
They sound so good.
They are awesome.
And it's also got amazing speech. Like I said, with the whole
Yeah.
the stage is set, the green flag drops.
First time I played it was well confusing because like you're saying, it's just like you have your left and your right, and at first I didn't realise that it doesn't change at all, so
Right.
it confused me slightly.
I do remember this game being a lot harder when I was a kid. I do remember coming off the tracks a lot, where you take a jump.
Take a jump wrong
you
and
just
just fly
slightly
straight
off
off.
and yeah.
Because the tracks are almost like F-Zero tracks.
Yeah.
They're kind of like suspended, tracks
Bridges,
over I don't know, Mad Max Wasteland
yeah.
or something. Yeah. And the jump's kind of the weirdest power up. I never understood the jump. Like, okay, you could jump oil slicks or anything that's down on the ground.
Landmines,
Yeah.
But 90% of the time you'll go off the
You
track.
jump into your death. Yeah, exactly. There's no kind of reason for it.
No, but when you upgrade to the Airblade, it has NOS instead.
I love it. I find this game is quite easy. I think it's once you get in the lead, you're kind of in the lead.
Yeah.
Because every time you pass the finish line, you get another restock of whatever weapons you have.
Yeah.
Sneakers powered up.
Yeah, exactly. And you just the track. What I quite like about it is the track ends up being quite cluttered by the end of it. If you've got a large amount of laps, you get that corner where it's like, oh fucking hell, there's just loads of shit on the track here that people have put down in the same place over and over again. And it does that proper. Well, and games don't really do this anymore. This is an interesting point, right? When you walk on ice in a game, yeah. And the character goes whoa, and sort of slips, and your momentum carries you forwards.
Yeah.
Games don't seem to do that very much, but games did that all the fucking time in the past. And you get that with oil slicks on this. And in racing games, it's a pain in the arse. It's like, oh, someone's just disconnected my steering wheel.
It's like when you go for the spike strips, your car just sort of decides it's going to turn on its own.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
turn back. But I love the drifting on this.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even brake, you
No.
just turn the corner
Yeah.
and just skid round.
Yeah, and it has the noise as well.
It sort of goes back to that discussion before about games being fun, whereas now it's just playing it.
Well, this is really simple as well, or at least it's seemingly simple. Like the basic concept of going around the levels is really simple. They're really short. They're really quite small. The laps themselves aren't complicated.
No.
They're all pretty much square with the corner taken out or whatever. And
Figure eights,
the weapons are basic enough that you kind of understand the rules of each, and it never deviates from that. But there's progression, so you do upgrade your vehicles and get better over time. It's not a terribly small game.
No, because they do have ranks of levels which go up through. So when you earn a certain amount of points, you have the option once you finish all the races to go to the next league and things like that.
Yeah.
There's more to this game than I thought. Originally, you just made it sound out you go round a track and it plays cheesy rock music.
Cheesy rock music. What about the title screen's the cheesiest thing in the world? And he just like comes up and just goes, and the Interplay logo comes up and it's like da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. And it's just like, and the title like bounces down, and there's like an alien hair metal band on there, and it's all written in sort of like 50s diner almost like writing of rock and roll racing. It's I love it. I absolutely love it.
It is awesome.
I liked a lot of games like that. RC Pro-Am, a similar game. It's kind of, RC Pro-Am is rock and roll racing minus some of the weapons, but not all of them, and minus the sci-fi theme.
I don't think I played it.
You still get the same like tiered vehicles and the same tracks, and essentially it's very, very similar. It's also great for it. But there were also other games that were kind of similar, like Super Off-Road, which I really did love, but that was much smaller. You had you saw the whole track.
Right.
So this, because you don't see the whole track, you can trick you. It makes it a little bit trickier. You're only seeing sort of a few feet ahead of your vehicle.
The closest comparison I have is Micro Machines on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, similar skill set involved, I suppose. It's quite. Does this have split screen in it?
It does have
I think it does, yeah. And I always thought that was quite impressive because of the way you literally are splitting that in half and getting. There's quite a lot going on in both screens in that respect.
Plus,
doesn't force you
the
to
audio must take up a large amount. Obviously, that's why cartridge-based games never had talking in them. Is because audio does take up such a large amount of space.
And there is a lot of voice
Well,
this game.
it commentates as you're playing.
Yeah, well, that's it. It has full-on commentary.
It's better than Murray Walker in F1 on PS1.
Yeah, and it's also better quality than. Remember Mortal Kombat on like Mega Drive and 360?
Yeah.
They'll just be like, you know, and you're like, well, I don't know. I think it said
Finish him.
yeah, but this is quite clear. So yeah, that's cool.
I do like the way it's always like this person is almost dead and things like this, and
Well, it gives you updates into the status of the other races.
especially when you're in first and you just got no fucking clue what's going on because everything's miles behind you.
I noticed that the computer doesn't ever seem to shoot at you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
I was shocked by it.
I wasn't. I'm like second league in this gameplay, and the computer hasn't shot at me once.
I just have trouble with going round corners with them because they're always just nudging me right out to the other side. It takes ages to catch back up, and you've got to try and get round them again.
I remember as well. There was a sequel.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, PlayStation 1 game.
Oh, really?
Rock on Racing 2, Red Asphalt. And it had nothing to do with Rock on Racing.
No.
Well, the similarities it had with Rock on Racing was it still had that sort of RPG leveling system of the characters.
Right.
But other than that, it was not, gameplay-wise, completely different.
Was it Blizzard?
No, God fuck no. I don't know who it was. It's still Interplay published.
Doesn't surprise me though, really.
Yeah, I don't know. No, there wasn't Blizzard. And looked fucking cheap and horrible. And tarnished the name.
Yeah.
Everything that we loved about it.
Unfortunately, that happens way too often these days.
Rock on Racing, man. It's fucking awesome. You should try it out. I think my love came from this game from my inappropriate amount of time as a child watching Death Race 2000. I was kind of always a big fan, growing up, of video games with cars with guns and spikes on the side.
Right.
Like I love Carmageddon in the same way.
Yeah.
There's something very base, natural about the human beings just going, you know what? This car's wicked. What will make it more awesome? Spikes.
Machine guns.
God, it's in Greece, for God's sake. You know, it's like that sort of thing. It's just like, yeah, that's what makes it cool. So, Joe, did you like it? It was important.
Yeah, it was really good.
Did it change your life?
Didn't change my life, but it was awesome.
Will you play it again?
Maybe.
This is the game I always get out for the SNES. It's the one that goes probably my main go-to game because I just know like it's going to be fun, just for a quick blast. I never really play more than like the first two levels.
Yeah.
And then that's it. I'm done. I'll come back in a year's time for some more rock and roll.
I don't know. I might play enough to max out my car.
That's great. That actually hurts my throat doing that. So yeah. All right. That's Educating Joe. What are we going to do next week?
I don't know.
I've forgotten.
I'll tell you what we're going to do next week. Another music-based game.
God.
Yeah. Jing, chicka, chicka, jing, jing, chicka, jing, jing, chicka, jing, jing. We're going to do, we're going to play Psychonauts. No, we're going to play Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, but we're going to play the arcade game, Joe. We're going to play the arcade game. Not because it was good, it was on consoles as well.
Yeah.
And that's still quite a good version. The Mega Drive version is quite good, but it's not the same. It's not the same sort of isometric awesome that the arcade game is. I know you're really down on this because you're like, I hate Michael Jackson, but it's okay. Michael Jackson he's not there. You are gonna see him. You are gonna play as him. You're gonna play as the cool Michael Jackson that turns into a robot, as opposed to the bad Michael Jackson that died.
I love the robot.
The robot's wicked.
It's wicked.
Yeah. If Michael Jackson had just turned into that robot more often in real life, then I'd have been a much bigger fan.
He would have been a better person for it.
Yeah, exactly. You think people would have they'd looked at him slightly differently, you know?
Yeah.
It was definitely his best. Michael Jackson's best forms were the robot, the car, and the panther, the jaguar thing.
Oh right, yeah, smooth criminal.
Yeah, like all of those things that he turned into were ultimately better than what he was.
Have you seen Moonwalker the movie, Joe?
No.
You've got to watch that as
You
well.
need to, yeah.
As part of your education, you've got to watch Moonwalker.
Yeah, you should watch Moonwalker, man.
Joe Pesci, man.
Yeah. He turns into a car. That's what I'm gonna say.
Joe Pesci doesn't turn into a car.
No, but Joe
Joe
Pesci should.
I don't want to see Joe Pesci stabbing someone with a pen.
That doesn't happen.
No,
No,
not in Michael
no.
Jackson's Moonwalker.
I think he threatens a kid with a syringe or something.
Yeah, that's true. He's nasty, actually.
He is.
Yeah. Anyway, that's next week. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Okay? You're going to love this, Joe. Okay. That was Educating Joe, and that means we have come to the end of yet another episode of Things We Play. Looking back, guys, how do you feel? Yeah, I know.
Enlightened.
Enlightened. Yep, that's one of the ways.
I just feel slightly older.
It just feels slightly older. That's nice. Well, next week, there's not really any games coming out next week, but we're going to play some Fall of Cybertron. I'm definitely going to play that, so we'll have that. I'm going to take a look at Blood Bowl, which I'm now not looking forward to, considering I left the shop going, yeah, Blood Bowl, that's going to be cool. It's going to, yeah. And now I'm like, nah, maybe not. And maybe even we'll look at Cold War on the Xbox. If you want it, you could pick it up for £1 in your local Poundland. There's bound to be some other stuff. Well, there's Rock Band Blitz. No. Yeah.
Make up your mind.
Yeah, Rock Band Blitz is out tomorrow. No, I was thinking, is it out next week? It's out tomorrow.
Cool.
So we'll give that a go as well. In the meantime, you can catch us on Twitter at Things We Play, or you can obviously visit the website, thingsweplay.net, where we're going to start putting some more stuff up there. Sean was going to write us a review this week, or last week, week before last. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure. But we're going to be putting some more content up on there. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a rate. Give us a rating. Someone give us a review. Like, hit that little 5-star button. Or 4 stars. We'll accept 4 stars, but don't hit anything below 4.
Or we'll hit you.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the way that works. Anything else? What do I normally say, guys, at this point? I've lost it. I don't know.
We're
guys?
just going to leave you out to dry.
Yeah, where are you? Where have you gone? Joe just looks at me like... and I'm just thinking, it's not working, Joe. The telepathy's not working. You're not even getting that message back.
My only concern is people don't understand me.
What?
Well, in that case, then we're going to leave you with the soothing sounds of a Russian number station named UVB 76. We'll see you in 7 days' time.
Next Tuesday.
Goodbye.